Hello, friends. This is a series on Julius Caesar, one of the very famous tragedy by William Shakespeare, the historical playwright. And this lesson is about Brutus in the tragedy of Caesar. This is presented by me, Palak Sharma. Few things about me. I'm an economics honors student, a poet at heart, a theatre geek, a mixture of Keats and Shakespeare. Once you're done watching this lesson, you know what you have to do, the three R's and the S. Rate, review, recommend, share the lessons. Here's the link to my profile on Unacademy. Follow me right here. Now, William Shakespeare's play, The Tragedy of Julius Caesar, it is mainly based on the assassination of Julius Caesar. Now, the character who was in charge of the assassination was, ironically, Marcus Brutus. And he is a servant and a close friend to Caesar. But what would cause a person to kill a close friend? So, after examining Brutus's relationship to Caesar, his involvement in the conspiracy, and his importance to the plot, the truth can be revealed. Now, Marcus Brutus was a servant and a friend to Caesar. He had a very strong relationship with Caesar, but a stronger relationship with Rome and its people. Now, Brutus is very close to Caesar. In Roman times, the only way for someone to get close to a person of high rank is if he or she is close to him or her. So, in many points of the play, Brutus was talking and next to Caesar. So, Brutus also loves Caesar but fears his power. In the early acts of the play, Brutus says to Cassius, "What means this shouting? I do fear the people do choose Caesar for their king, yet I love him well." As he is speaking to Cassius, he says this. Brutus loves Caesar, no doubt about it, but would not allow him to climber upward. He then unto the ladder turns his back. As the quote says, Brutus would not allow Caesar to rise to power and then turn his back onto the people of Rome, who are the ladder on what he's jumping to power. So after the assassination of Caesar, Brutus talks to Antony about Caesar's death, and he says, "Our hearts you see not, they are pitiful, and pity to the general wrong of Rome." Brutus says that Antony cannot see the conspirators' heart, which are full of pity. Now, again, this shows how Brutus loved Caesar but cared for the life of Rome and its people, which were important. Now, this is the only reason Brutus would conspire against Caesar, for Brutus says to himself, "I know no personal cause to spurn at him, how that might change his nature." Now, Caesar's relationship with Brutus is also strong. Just allowing Brutus to speak to Caesar shows his respect for Brutus. Caesar feels that Brutus is noble to him and he does the right thing, regardless of personal danger. So, on the Ides of March, as Caesar was assassinated, Caesar's last line is "et tu Brute," when Brutus is killing him. Lines are "et tu Brute," and then falls Caesar. This shows that Caesar would not die without Brutus's stab. He wouldn't have succumbed to the stabbing of the rest of the people. Caesar realizes that there must be a noble reason for his assassination if Brutus was in it. Now, this again shows how much Caesar respects Brutus. Brutus and Caesar both respect each other, but in different ways. Marcus Brutus, he also has a very important role to play in the conspiracy because against Caesar, he was the backbone of the plan. According to Cassius, Brutus's main purpose in the conspiracy was to act legitimacy and to act as an insurance policy. The people will think since Brutus is noble to Caesar, then there is a good reason for Caesar's assassination. So Brutus, he will also be the leader of the conspiracy for another insurance policy for the assassination. So Cassius is the one who declares this, that Brutus shall lead the way and we will grace his heels with the most boldest and best hearts of Rome. Again, if Brutus leads the way, the people will think that the death of Caesar wasn't such a bad thing. Brutus also declares to himself that his role in the conspiracy is to save Rome. He says to the people that if then that friend demand why Brutus rose against Caesar, this is my answer. Not that I loved Caesar less, but that I loved Rome more. So if Brutus was not in the plot, the conspiracy would probably haven't worked at all. Since Brutus, he was a very important part of it, he added legitimacy to it and he loved Rome more. he decided to be a part of the conspiracy. And if he hadn't loved Rome more than Caesar, he wouldn't have joined in the assassination of Caesar. Now, Cassius and the rest of the conspirators would probably not have continued on without Brutus. So the assassination wouldn't have taken place because they would have no insurance afterwards. The people would think that there was no reason for Caesar's death, and most likely they would behead the conspirators. And also, if Brutus was not in the play, the whole end of the play would have never occurred at all. Brutus would not have been there to lead the army or to kill himself, like in this picture you can see, and Cassius will already be beheaded. So if Brutus was not in the play, the title would have absolutely no meaning. There would have been no tragedy at all. Now, Marcus Brutus was a good friend to Caesar, but not good enough. He had moral values dealing with Rome and its people, but Brutus's value then made him join a conspiracy against Caesar put together by Cassius. Brutus joined this mainly because he didn't want Caesar to turn his back on Rome, so there would be a reasonable reason for killing Caesar. But if Brutus wasn't in the play, there would be no tragedy in the tragedy of Julius Caesar. So that's how important Brutus was in this play. And next lesson, we'll be having an analysis of the Julius Caesar play as a whole, how important the play is in the ideas it presents, and how politics and ideas and ambitions can ruin or make up some people. And this is all we'll be doing in the next lesson. Hope you like it. Thank you. And rate, review, recommend, share this lesson. Have a nice day.